as I was mentioning, there's really three areas that a person can have money: conservative, moderate, and aggressive. Aggressive, of course, being the stock-related areas, which is what we kind of sort of want to get out of. He's got you kind of into a bond timing thing there, but that's what we want to try to avoid. What I'm going to talk to you now is the conservative and moderate areas. Kind of an overriding theme I want to cover here real quick is going back to there's two things that you want to do. One is reduce risk, which we did already, which getting the stuff out of the market's going to do that. We're bringing things over in kind, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we probably don't want to leave any of this stuff in the market because you've already got enough with your other TD Ameritrade account that you're dealing with. So we want to reduce risk, but then you want to invest for income, and create income, in other words. And there's really, kind of going through this one more time again, and I'm going to kind of get off into areas that we're going to go here. But there's really two ways that a person could invest money, and that is either for growth or for income. Growth or income. Now, I'm not saying one's bad and one's good. I'm just saying there's two completely different ways. It's which one works best at the point in time that you're at. Because what you're ultimately going to need when you cease working is income. Now, when you're 25 years old, income has no relevance to you. Growth, it's all about growth. But life changes, and so should the investments. And here's kind of the situation. If you take $100,000 and you invest it for growth, and let's just say you buy something that's $10 a share. All right? So you bought something at $10 a share, you ended up essentially buying 10,000 shares. Now, where the issue comes in with the problem with growth, everything's fine until you decide to take some money out. And when you take money out, let's just talk $5,000 here, that you have to take out, be it for income, be it for required minimum distribution, or whatever, you have to sell 500 shares. You have to have 500 shares. There's where your problem comes in with growth. Everything's fine until you take money. Well, I say everything's fine until the market dips, or you start taking money out, or both happen at the same time. That's even a worse scenario. Yeah. So you're now down to 9,500 shares. Now, and the reason you're down to 95 is you had to sell 500 of them in order to create that income. So what a retiree wants to see is 100,000 minus 5 equals 100,000. I mean, that's kind of what you want to see. I mean, it's not being facetious or funny. It is what they want to see, because because think about it, what they want their money to last forever. If you do anything short of that, it's not going to last forever. What they don't want to see is 100,000 minus 5 equals 95,000. And the reason for that is it's only 20 years. What if retirement lasts 25 or 30 years? And see, here's the issue. For this math to happen, for that math to happen, we have got to have these remaining shares increase by 5%. Has to. If you take 100,000 at $10 a share, 100,000 shares minus 500 shares of great income, they got to go back 5% higher to get it back to 100 grand. Well, here's the thing: retirement could last 30 years. When have we ever known the market to go up 5% per year for 30 years? Never. But that's actually what we have to have happen for that to happen. You see what I'm saying? Now, worse yet, let's just say the market drops 5%. Now you're talking about 100,000 minus 5 equals 90,500. so this is why growth doesn't work in the retirement years, because you're needing income. If you were just not needing income and reinvesting dividends, so that's what I'm saying, it's not like one's bad, one's good, it's just a different point in time we're in.
Yeah.
When you're 100,000 at $10 per share into income, and let's just say it's paying 5% dividends. Now, the truth is, it wouldn't be $10 a share. You could buy preferreds at 25 or corporates at, whatever they're worth. But the point is, just for the comparison's sake here, it's paying a 5% dividend, generating $5,000 a year. You can take that income out forever. You don't decrease the amount of shares, and that's why I say in the R&D workshops, and why I say it all over and over and over again, if you're selling any shares to create income in retirement, that's a plan that's destined for failure, because you're reverse dollar cost averaging. But if you're selling or if you're taking out interest, you're not selling any shares, and you could have this happen forever. You see kind of how that is a much more conducive idea to retirement than that is when you're taking income out. So that's kind of what I want to run through with you. How do we create that income? How do we create that income? Now, there's basically, as I said, with the 102,000, we've got two options with it. Now, my goal, actually, as going through that, is to create income streams that you can't outlive. Now, we've got two choices. We either risk the money, or we have it invested for a time frame. The problem with risk we just went through. You're selling shares. We don't want risk. You got enough risk in the other TD account. We're talking about income here with this now. So we're talking time now. Time. Oh heck! Typically the things I'm going to show up here are going to run anywhere from 5 to I'd say even as far out as 15 years. Well, some of them even go 30, some of the prefers and so forth. Now, that's not saying that you can't get your money out. That's saying that you're taking interest in dividends and the bulk of the money is there for that period of time. And this is IRA money. Yeah, it is IRA money. Yeah. So you don't plan on spending this money for any major purchases in the next 5 to 10 years. Your plan is income. So it shouldn't be an issue there. So trying to keep things in that time frame should work, where you're allowed to take income and dividends and interest and so forth like that.
Yeah, the only withdrawal would be the,
Required minimum distribution. Yeah. So, that being said, there are two places we could go with the money. The first is no risk. And there are basically 3 producers of no risk items out there. The first are banks. The second is insurance companies. Then the third is, I'd say the government. So in banks, insurance companies, and the government. Banks do it through CDs and money markets. Insurance companies do it through annuities.